Hello, everyone. I had some issues with my mic during recording, so there's a little bit of clicks. So sorry about that. We are still releasing the episode. We think there's some good content, and we also talk about some rumors about Disney security increases, so we wanted to get that out there. So enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Parkscope Unprofessional Podcast Hour. Hi, how are you guys doing? Joining me tonight is Lane. Lane, how are you doing?
Good evening. I'm holding a bottle of British Navy Pusser's rum, the original Admiralty rum of the Royal Navy. It is very British Virgin Islandsy, product of Barbados, a little harsh, but I love it. This is a great mix for tiki drinks. When you're putting one or two rums into something, this is a good one or two rums.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I think they recommend Pussers for a lot of tiki drinks, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It's a delicious, delicious thing.
Yeah. So, anyway, welcome to our hack little blog podcast. So let's get
started. Our blogcast?
Yeah, our blogcast.
Okay.
Let's get right into this right now. We got Cedar Fair. We got Carowinds. They announced some flat rides, Lane.
Yeah, they have. I'm about to read them out. So, I am an avid Carowinds season pass holder, as you know from the last episode where I talked for like 45 minutes about how much I love Cedar Fair. And my favorite part, Carowinds, is putting in 4 new rides coming spring of 2017. They're putting in an electro spin, which looks a little like a fan blade with people on it spinning in X2 cars. I'll read the descriptions because I find these really funny. Get ready for a jolt of fun when the electro spin sends riders through a freely rotating orbit through the air on its floorless gondolas. This unique ride will leave thrill seekers awed by its arsenal of tangled tricks. Alliteration, off the chain. The next one, they're putting a swing Zephyr in, calling it a classic family string ride that will suspend guests as the ride rotates in a circular wave-like motion, all while serving up some of the breathtaking views of County Fair and the rest of the park. Then they're putting my personal favorite on this list, the Rock and Roller, which is a disco, I call. A staple of any county fair, the Rock and Roller is a fast-paced circular ride that will rock and roll you around and around, up and down, as high-energy tunes and spectacular lighting complement this awesome experience. And fourth, they're putting in a Do-Si-Do, which is a scrambler that goes vertical. I don't know a better way to explain it. This super fun spiraling adventure will send guests flying through the air and gliding up, down, and around as 3 giant arms rotate riders in different directions, all while increasing speed and elevation.
They say,
and then they're redoing their Vekoma Boomerang, repainting it, and calling it the Flying Cobras after a flying air show.
Yeah, the Do-Si-Do is a troika, if you know what those are. So
that seems scary. So I went to King's Dominion on that last trip, and we sat in their kind of midway fair area and ate some pizza and let the sun go down. And all of these rides are absolutely gorgeous at night at King's Dominion. So lit up, like that Do-Si-Do is just like a gorgeous, like Vegas quality light show that happens to be a midway flat ride. So mad props. Cedar Fair and Carowinds. This is going to be really fun. If you're familiar with Carowinds, it's all going to be kind of underneath where Carolina Cobra was and is, in between that and the water park. So it's in a good middle spot of the whole park. It's going to be a wonderful addition. I'll probably ride some of them. They're also, Carowinds announced they were doing Winterfest, which sounds like it's not coming up. It's going to be a winter festival kind of thing. And on the YouTube video, they showed a bunch of clips from other Cedar Fair parks where they did this, and it looks fun. I mean, it's an excuse to go wintertime. Anytime you get to ride the rides, it's going to be fun. If you have a gold pass, your pass is good. So, like, there's not really a con. If they're going to open up and you still have a pass that's valid, they're going to get your money in November and December, and you're going to come. So, what's not to love?
Mm-hmm. Cool. Next up, Dorney. Yay, they're building more. I mean, basically all the Cedar Fair parks are adding flat rides. Dorney's getting a Chorka and a Dodgem, and they're getting a pavilion for corporate stuff, and they're also getting that Cirque show that Kings Island had.
Mm-hmm.
Kings Island's getting Winterfest again. Worlds of Fun is getting Thunderhawk. Oh, no, they removed their Thunderhawk. Sorry about that. Reading this wrong. They're getting 2 flat rides. They're getting a Troika and a Husk Condor. So they probably got some sort of deal on the Troikas. And then what's interesting is then Knott's is expanding their Soak City. So they're adding a few slide complexes, including the those vertical ones with the trapdoors, the aquapods.
Yeah.
So they're adding some of those.
Carowinds got those this year.
Yeah, and then Cedar Point is expanding their water park area, and they're going to call it Cedar Point Shores instead of Soak City.
Instead of Soak City.
Yeah.
Because Soak City is a tired name.
Yeah. So it's 18. They're going to make it 18 acres. They're taking some of the water rides from Geauga Lake, I believe, and also adding a few new ones. So they're going to be expanding a lot. So they're adding...
Is there room for that?
Yeah, what they're doing is they took out the go-karts. Remember the go-karts from last year?
Oh, yeah. It was kind of tucked in that middle where the water park was.
Yeah, and it's like near the water park. Yeah, so it's there, and then they're also moving the whatchamacallit, the Sky Coaster.
Okay.
So they're moving that. So they're opening up a lot of space for that water park. So that's a good thing. I like the Cedar Point Shores name. That sounds cool.
Oh yeah, and it's unique. You know, as much as we like the brand and we like to see them do a similar kind of thing, a similar experience, it's good when they can get something unique that it'll try to feel a little different.
Yeah. So that's super cool. They haven't announced anything else for 2017. My understanding is that the Mean Street renovation is going to be in 2018.
For 2018.
For 2018, yes.
I bet they start next April or May.
Yeah, well, they'll have to because of the winter, so...
Yeah. Because you can't really build stuff in the winter on Lake Erie.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's what's going on at Cedar Point. Kings Island also has the Winterfest. They're also doing, what was it called again? Mystic Timbers, there we go. And then there's another thing they said they had coming, but we don't know what it is. And they said it was some sort of experience, so I guess we'll know.
Kings Island?
Yeah, at Kings Island.
So I was listening to Twitter rumblings today, and here it might be one of those indoor game kind of things, like the Plants vs. Zombies or...
Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Okay. That could be cool. That'd be good. It would get people in that theater, so that's...
It would get people in the theater, and that's a little air conditioning if you want it, and it's just capacity.
Yep. So that's good. Anything else with Cedar Fair you want to talk about, Lane?
Nope. Very happy with Cedar Fair.
Good. Not really any big...
Oh, I do. Actually, I take that back. There is one more thing. In the last week or so of looking at Cedar Fair stuff, the Scarewinds is going to be awesome. That is my comment on that. And I don't want any of y'all to come bust my bubble about it. It is going to be fun. I'm going to go watch shows, going to go through mazes, going to go ride Fury at night in October. I have a weekend edged out for that. So... I will be going to Scarewinds this year, and I'm very pumped for it.
Nice. So let's go to Disney World real quick.
Okay.
There's 3 things I want to talk about real quick. I want to make sure I can... okay. So Blaze Pizza opened. That's at Disney Springs. Not much there besides that it's like a cheap pizza place. That's like
a
Chipotle.
moderate, not cheap.
Well, you get a pretty good sized pizza for $9.
Correct.
And that's cheaper than Via Napoli,
and you can pick toppings.
Yeah, so it's like a Chipotle or Subway where you get your dough, they press it out, they put the sauce you want, cheese you want, and the toppings, and then they make it real quick for you. It's cheaper than Via Napoli, it's cheaper than Red Oven, but I hear people say it's really good, but they like the other 2 more, so I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. This is also a chain that's like partly owned by LeBron James, so that's interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
Ohio's own LeBron James?
Yes, Akron's own LeBron James.
Oh, just a boy from Akron.
Exactly.
My take on this is pizza, and pizza is delicious.
That is true.
That I will eat Toy Story pizza. I will eat All forms of pizza.
I don't know. That's pretty rough.
That's bad, but it's still delicious pizza.
I don't know. Oh boy,
Your boy Robert Griffin's just completing passes up a storm.
Oh, he is.
Yep.
I'm not
to date this podcast.
Yeah,
Devontae had a touchdown for you fantasy football followers.
Well, I can't even look at the television because it's in the other room for me, so I can't look right now. So, thanks,
Okay.
Thanks, Lane.
Game updates, preseason NFL.
Thank you, preseason updates from Lane. It's already getting colder outside and it's getting darker earlier, so I don't want to think about it.
Baby, OH.
I don't want to think about the fall yet. So this is really bizarre. Like, I think it was Orlando Now reported that somehow Disney recently updated the Rock and Roller Coaster pre-show to remove the shocker from basically Steven Tyler put his hands up. He took his not the finger between the middle finger and the pinky.
The ring finger. And he held his hand up with the ring finger down. And that is occasionally a lewd motion.
Yes, and he put his hand and said, "That sounds like a great idea." If you don't know what the shocker is, don't look it up.
Nope, please do not. We do not support looking it up. And this is weird. Have you heard any of the stories on them filming that pre-show?
No.
Where they had to film it in 3D. I think it was a Season Pass episode a few years ago where they talked about filming this thing, and you had to film it at like 5 or 6 times the amount of theater lighting necessary for regular filming because it was like 3D dense filming. So it was like a scalding hot set. So it makes sense that he'd be covering his eyes with 5 times the amount of normal TV lighting in one set. So there's weird stories on it. And that was actually film, not digital. So the fact that they just came in and digitally drew on it is a crazy thing.
That is insane. That is really crazy.
I didn't know this was the thing, and it came up this week. And I even saw it on one of my Facebook recommendations. Was like, the Disney World removes Steven Tyler's lewd hand gesture.
17 years later.
Yeah. And then Steven Tyler talked about it today.
Yeah, he tweeted it out. That weird. God, that was weird. This whole thing is weird.
It's a weird story.
It's just bizarre. It's 17 years later, and then someone just got promoted to from outside the company to some high up position, and they took their kids around and they laughed at it and they didn't know what it was, and they explained it, and then or they looked it up and then oh, we have to remove this. How? I mean, it's just insane. It's just insane.
No bueno.
God,
not necessary.
So weird.
Which I'm surprised they didn't just fully Star Wars overlay then and there.
Yeah.
Did you see? So I saw pictures today of them doing a Star Wars overlay they did for one night of Rock and Roller Coaster.
Well, it wasn't even a full overlay. They just played music.
Yeah, and the countdown banner.
Yeah. Well, the digital banner they have. Yes.
Yeah. Which I don't think I didn't ever thought they changed anything like that.
Well, it's pre-programmable. It's like the banners you have on the highway.
Wait, Terrell Pryor plays for Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh, he just scored a touchdown.
Okay, there we go. What's the score? 6.
He is good at sports.
Yes, he can sport it all up.
Okay, what's next on our WDW list, Joseph?
So this one's a little different. There's been a little bit of rumblings about security enhancements coming to the parks. Are you interested, Lane?
Did you say they're male enhancements or female enhancements?
Security enhancements.
Oh, security enhancements. Okay, continue.
Yes. So basically what I'm hearing is that by the end of the year, there's going to be all Magic Kingdom buses are going to go to the TTC. There will no longer be any transportation to the Magic Kingdom.
Well, that's crazy because they just built these really big, pretty bus structures.
Yes.
They're gorgeous from the Contemporary.
Yes.
Those are a pretty setup. Okay, so they want to move a big security checkpoint back to the TTC.
So the security checkpoint will be at TTC, and they've already put in permits for new electrical work there. Now, in addition to that, they are installing basically what Universal Orlando has at every single one of their parks and the TTC, which is the metal detector and then the X-ray for all bags.
Do you have to run your bags through it?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, what I feel comfortable talking about is that they're also going to have this at the resorts.
Like before you walk in the beach club lobby or the Poly lobby or something?
I don't know exactly, but it's possible.
It makes sense that they would check if they're going to be overly checky, then you check the bags of everybody coming in the door. Like, here, drop your luggage off. We'll valet them into your room.
Well, I don't know if that means they'll do it at the buses. Maybe it's just for buses. Maybe is it for the hotel? I don't know. I mean, I don't know that quite yet. It's still a little murky, but there are enhancements coming up for security. So
I think there's enhancements coming, but there's also a middle ground of those enhancements.
maybe.
If it gets too ridiculous, they'll just skip it.
Yeah, possibly. But I don't know. Basically, what I'm hearing is just things have been ramping up significantly. A lot of it's behind the scenes stuff, but now it's going to be front of the park stuff, and Universal is kind of in front of it with all the stuff in that main rotunda. But I mean, there's going to be separate parks, so like each park's going to have its own scanning station, so it's not going to be as crazy as the Universal one is.
Okay.
Or can get, because I mean that's the small area for 2 parks. So I don't know. Anyway,
See, then what do you do for people that are walking from the Contemporary or staying at the Floridian and riding the monorail in? Do you have another set for that?
I have not been told about the monorail, but I'm willing to bet that they have another scanning station and
Exiting the express monorail, there's a scanning station.
yeah. Well, no, to get on the express monorail, you have to go through it, and then also probably to get on any of the monorails, you have to go through security.
Okay.
So
That sounds like a really big hassle.
Yes.
And that's the only thing I can say that's not rantingly negative.
Yes, it does sound like a big hassle. So, anyway, that's what I heard. The whole entire monorail situation is my guess, so I'm not sure on that. I've not heard anything, but just want to pass that along. In addition, let's move over to Universal real quick.
Oh, good.
Yeah, this is gonna be a real quick episode. We're almost done. Toothsome opened for employee previews. Have you seen the food lane?
I have seen menus and some pictures of food. It does look big and fun and expensive and delicious, much like everything else at City Walk.
Yes. Some people are saying the menu's too big, but I mean, I think it has the same amount of items as Cowfish or even NBC Grill Brew. It just seems like the menu is laid out poorly, so it has multiple pages like a Cheesecake Factory.
It's still soft opening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could get sorted out. The menu could get changed in a month.
Yeah, exactly. But it seems like even the burgers, there's 7 burgers or something, and it takes up 1 page.
Ooh,
So
I did see that there was a burger called the Tour de France, and it looked delicious.
it had a bunch of weird stuff on it.
Some brie, probably.
Yep, it did. I think it had avocado on there or something for some odd reason. I don't know. Maybe I was hallucinating.
All those French avocados.
Yeah, you remember the ads this spring talking about the all the delicious avocados that come from France?
I don't know. I saw some pictures of France today because I'm going to France in like a month, and it just looks cold to me. So
Yeah. So, Toothsome, I don't know how I feel about it yet, but everyone who's gone there says it's pretty good. Also, Orlando now reports that some of the team members at Toothsome are reporting August 22nd will be opening. So it'll be open this coming Monday. So we haven't heard anything yet. Nothing's official, but they're saying Monday. So there we go. Lane, are we going to go there in October or?
I will probably not. Actually, do they have a to-go counter?
I think they do, or they may have a
If
bar.
they have a to-go milkshake counter, then I will probably go get a milkshake up to a ridiculous number. Like I would probably pay $15 for a s'mores milkshake and walk around with it at City Walk.
Yeah.
Because I find that a fun part of going to Universal as a resort.
Yeah, I'll just get a beer at NBC Grill Brew and walk around with that.
But the good thing about City Walk is we got options. I get a milkshake, you can get a beer, and we can go ride the boat together.
Yay!
Thanks, Universal.
Yes, exactly. So, next up, let's talk a little about Halloween Horror Nights.
Horror Nights.
So they have finally announced The Last House, which is American Horror Story, to the surprise of no one.
It's going to be in the big house lot, right?
We believe it's going to be where the
Double Walking Dead was?
Yeah, the Double Walking Dead was.
Okay. Very exciting.
Yeah, the where Monsters of Mayhem were last year. So So there was a layout somewhere, but I don't know where it's at right now. I was supposed to bring it up, but I forgot. Oops. So Chance.
Quality audio.
Yeah, there we go. So Chance is going to be back by Men in Black, and then
the Chance house.
Yes, Chance.
Which
Chance
is from
house.
Chance's perspective.
Yes, and
So
then,
she might not even be in the house, a la original Snow White rides.
Not sure about that yet, but there you go. Then
Our friend Mike Aiello did say that she was busy working on the house, so that gives me hope.
hashtag theming. So, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on the other side of Men in Black, between Simpsons and Men in Black.
That's the new Sprung tent, correct?
That's the old Sprung tent.
The old Sprung tent.
The new one is is Chance, and it's between Bill and Ted and Men in Black.
Okay.
And then we have, I think it's, I forget. Actually, now I totally forget, so I'm not going to say anything anymore. All I know is that Krampus is in the Shrek Theater,
Oh, it's gonna be good.
and that's about it. So I'm excited for that. If you want a good podcast, go listen to the Orlando United podcast on.
I can't recommend them highly enough for talking about Horror Night stuff, because me and Joe have been doing this for 2 years, and those guys are both like 15 years in.
Yeah.
If you want to hear people do it. Joe, what house are you excited for this year?
Do you know what? That's a good question. I'm thinking about that.
Oh, and let's go ahead and preface this with, we are the Horror Night Scaredy Cats of the group.
Yeah.
I might not even walk in an IP house this year. So
Well, you're doing the repository with us.
I am doing the suppository with you guys, so that should be pretty fun. I have no idea what to expect about that, and I really would like to back out.
You're
But
not
my
allowed
friends
to.
are doing it, and I'm not going to boysenberry, so I guess I just got to be into it.
You got to do it. You're gonna do it.
I think it's going to be fun. I don't see how a headset's going to be scarier than a real environment.
I heard it's gonna be part of it, but not the full experience. So
And that's probably fine. And if you make stuff dark, you can make it scary.
yeah. Oh, excuse me. So I think maybe Catacombs or whatever it's called. I'm hearing good things about that one, that house. Which one I'm talking about? The tune. What was it called again? Am I making sense, Lane?
Yeah.
I'm pulling up on the Universal blog now. You see, we come prepared.
There's a Ghost Town one.
Yeah, Ghost Town. I'm like, on.
Is that a house or a zone?
That's a house.
Okay. See, I think that's going to be really fun.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. So let me see, what's it called? Ghost Town's the one you're talking about. I'm thinking Tomb of the Ancients.
Oh, that's going to be fun, too.
So that's the one I'm excited about. That sounds pretty cool. So that's probably the one I'm most excited about. Which one are you most excited about, Lane?
I'm most excited about the Chance House.
Okay, I think that's good.
I like the kind of Horror Nights themed, the Monsters and Mayhem so much from last year that I think whichever crew's working on that's gonna be working on this one. And I don't know if that's how it works, but I feel like there's just a different set of care for, here's not an IP house, but our kind of characters that we're gonna put into this.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What scare zone are you looking forward to the most? There's sorry.
Go for it.
There's Survive or Die Apocalypse, which is going to be in New York. Lair of the Banshee, which is going to be, in New York, the Central Park area.
Mm-hmm.
Deadman's Wharf, which is going to be by in San Francisco, basically.
Yeah.
Vamp 55 is going to be in front of Terminator 2 in Hollywood. And A Chance in Hell is going to be the scare zone between Minions and Shrek.
Okay. So, Horror Nights, there is one area that's scarier than all the other ones. The one, near the kids area. I don't know what I'm talking about 100%, but where all the scary pumpkin dudes were last year.
Yeah, the one that's the...
that stretch is going to be the scariest regardless, because that's such a good spot for a scare zone.
Yeah, that's Lair of the Banshee.
Yeah, that's going to be super scary and super fun.
Nice. Cool. Lane, you're gonna go somewhere this weekend. You want to talk about that real quick?
My best friend and my best friend's wife and my wife are doing sorority stuff, different sororities, but still, am I in college? I don't know. So I have a noon Saturday to noon Sunday to spend, going to a park or camping out or something. I'm really into camping right now. So I'm going to go to Lake Winnie Amusement Park outside of Chattanooga. So like 2 hours-ish from me. It'll be a good little drive. It's over from like noon to 7 on Sunday or Saturday. And I was going to read through some of the rides because they look absolutely crazy. And this came highly recommended from my roller coaster buddy, who's done almost everything. So like this is going to be really fun and very cool. It's in my backyard. They have a boat chute ride that was built during the winter of 1926. The first ride built in the park, and it's one of the oldest mill chute water rides in the United States. They have a Woody called Cannonball, which is Philadelphia Toboggan Company, 1967, 70-foot drop, 50 miles an hour, and it's a beat-em-up Woody, and that's going to be so much fun. So that's going to be amazing. They got a ring of fire. They have a drop tower. They have a swinging ship. They have what appears to be a bunch of kiddie coasters, and then a crazy swingy twister ride. So I'm going to get to go ride this boat chute, get to go ride one dark ride, get to go ride the Cannonball 2 hours from my house, and then camp out. So Lake Winnie, I will have an update for you next week.
Awesome. Cool. So we asked for a bunch of questions. Lane?
Yes?
The first one comes from John Fu.
Friend of the show.
Yes, he asks, what's the difference between a 600 HP versus a 900 HP LFC speaker from Meyer Sound?
Okay.
Do you know the answer?
One has 300 more LHP.
There you go.
John Fu.
Yeah, there you go, John. You have
That's so many more opportunities to grab and go.
Yeah. Next comes from Tom Stidman. He asks, what is Universal Orlando's park's biggest need? Sorry, I read that weird. What is Universal Orlando's park's biggest need? Why? I think nighttime entertainment is a big need, but curious at your thoughts. Lane?
Eat 'em up. They need pirates. They need Haunted Mansion. They need Small World. They need rides that everybody wants to go on a few times that eat people like crazy. And there's just still not enough of those.
Yep, I agree with Lane.
And Kong and Fast and Furious were supposed to be, but I don't think they're. I think they're going to help.
Yeah,
they're not going to fix it all, but I think they're going to help. I think it just needs to eat people up because parks with that same footprint can eat up more people if you have more popular rides with higher capacities.
Mm-hmm. Yep, no, I totally agree. They need those kinds of rides. They don't have to be like It's a Small World. They can be more intense or more,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. But they need more of a lower height limits, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or I mean, not even necessarily lower height limit. Like if Universal's just fine going, man, until you're 7, just go over there because you're going to be under 7 for 6 years, and then the rest of your life you're going to be over 7 and want to come over here. And I think that's a just fine line in the sand for Universal to draw. So I don't think it's a high requirement thing. I think it's just a capacity eating people up thing.
I think it's one of those things that they've said before, like Disney can have the the set under 7 set,
keep them,
and we'll take everyone else. I think was a quote or something like that. But no, I agree.
Which I love that attitude, and that's kind of what got us going to those parks as opposed to Disney World. Like they're shooting for us to come in and have a good time there, and they make it pretty easy for us too.
Yep. Next comes from Nick NIC 2014. She asks, what's replacing Dragon Challenge?
I have no idea.
It's a coaster. That's all we know.
Oh.
Sorry.
Fantastic Beasts?
No clue. Probably not. I mean, why would it be Fantastic Beasts? It doesn't make sense.
And where to find them?
Yeah, well, not.
It might. Do you think the replacement for Dragon Challenge is where to find them? In the phrase Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, they're next to. They're where Dragon Challenge was. That's where.
Okay, thank you. We don't have to go see the movie now. You found them.
I found them.
We don't have to go. Next question comes from Mike Perry. He asks, when will we get our next big Universal announcement? What do you think about the great movie ride rumored replacement? So the first question, no clue. It's Universal. Maybe.
I don't think they're in a hurry to announce anything because we know what they're putting out. They're putting out a whole new park and a new ride in 2017, as in Jimmy Fallon and Volcano Bay. And then 2018, we're going to get Fast and the Furious.
And probably whatever's replacing Dragon's Challenge.
and maybe whatever's replacing Dragon Challenge, and that could be a May, December kind of thing. But I don't think they're in a hurry. They're going to put another e-ticket in because they said they were going to, and they have no desire to slow down on building hotels, so they got to keep building rides.
Yeah. I think their next big announcement is going to be probably next June or so. You know, like how they did the Diagon Alley stuff? The Pomp and Circumstance? I bet you when they do that for Volcano Bay and Jimmy Fallon and whatever else, like the Cabana Bay Towers and all that stuff, when they do that whole thing, they'll probably be like, hey, coming in 2018, we got Fast and the Furious, and then they'll probably announce Nintendo at that time, too. That's my guess.
Yeah, that should be coming.
Yeah.
And that should come to the existing 2 parks.
Yep. No, it's only going to USF, but it's going to be probably at Hollywood, too.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to build a new park to put Nintendo in, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
In 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the next question comes from Donald. He asks, taking into account everything that's been announced by Universal and Disney, how does the next 5 years look for Orlando parks? Lane?
The next 5 years, let's see. What's this year? 2016. Star Wars Land's going to open in 2022. So you're going to get Avatar.
Before that.
Whoa, in Orlando?
Yeah, I think it'll be like.
I don't think so.
I think it'll be 2020.
I think the construction crew is going to move from. I think Avatar's going to be done before they move forward with DHS stuff.
So it's going to take 5 years to build.
It's going to take 5 years because they're going to it took 5 years at California Adventure, and they're going to rework the entrance and the highways, and then build a land that's immersive and that surrounds those two things. Yeah, it's going to be 2021 before that opens.
That's pretty pessimistic. I think it's going to be 2020 when it opens.
I have little to no faith in them building things in a hurry in Orlando.
Okay, there you go.
I have a question while we're on Twitter questions.
Well, we haven't finished this guy's question yet.
Oh, okay. We're midway through this guy's question. Sorry.
I think it looks good for the next 5 years. I mean, we got, as you're saying at Disney, we have Avatar, we have Toy Story Playland, we have Star Wars. Oh, and we forgot to... Well, we'll get back to this in a second. We've got Star Wars. We've got a bunch of other little mini rides that are coming. And then at Universal, we got Third Park. We got Nintendo.
Possibly. We
got a bunch of other stuff. So it looks good.
Also, SeaWorld is going to be another Busch Park. So
yeah,
our boy Joel Manby, our other favorite CEO of a theme park company, is cranking tail on that, and they're just going to put roller coasters and some simple animal exhibits, and you're going to have another Busch Gardens in Orlando, and that is wonderful.
Yes. So,
because I could see him building a new roller coaster every 2 or 3 years to try to kind of beef up the coaster lineup in that park, and that would put 2 more in the next 5 years.
Yep. So we've got to answer Mike Perry's question. What do you think about the... Excuse me, man, I'm burping and I don't know why. I'm just sucking in air. What do you guys think about the Great Movie Ride rumored replacement? That's that Mickey ride.
Yeah, I've heard some about it, but not a lot. You got the Mickey Through the Years ride?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that makes more sense as a thesis than the Great Movie Ride does now. So, then that's your thesis attraction.
Yeah, and it could be a little more thrilling and move more people through and make it a little shorter so it's not that massive kind of attraction that it is right now.
It could use an entire gutting redo, and that would be okay. Yeah. I mean, they did it to all the first generation Epcot rides. This park could use one. Yeah. I mean, that ride could use a test track Frozen quality gutting.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, and I like that ride. I have nothing bad against it. It's just not... It's a thesis statement for a park that doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm. Very true, because, I mean, they got rid of all the production stuff, so it's going to be changing. Mike Perry also asks... he sent 2 questions in, but we forgot to answer all of the first one. I know Sean is not on tonight, but do you think he would go vegan for $1 million?
Yes, Sean would go vegan for $1 million. $1 million is a lot of money.
Would he go forever vegan?
I don't think forever. Because you can make $1 million in a lifetime.
Yeah,
In
but
a reasonable amount of time, you can just make it.
this guy says, would he go vegan? I don't know that. I assume he means forever then.
I can't speak for Sean. He's his own independent. He's his own independent person.
I bet you he'd say he would, but that's just I don't know. I don't know. I could see them both saying for $1 million and then like laugh at it and go for it, or I can see him also being like, he going, I like meat too much. So
Yeah, I mean he would need a Philly cheesesteak at some point.
that is true. So you know what? That may swing me to no.
Yeah,
So
and he'll probably beat us up for saying that he eats Philly cheesesteaks because there's some weird delicatessen we don't even know about that he likes more that we should know about. Oh, I can't believe y'all hadn't heard of chicken slider things. And we're like, what? No, you just made that up, man. And then we'll look it up, and it'll be an 85-year-old tradition.
it was, again, 150 years old. Ben Franklin started it.
Yeah,
1700s.
Ben Franklin started it. How did you not know about it? I'm like, I didn't. I'm sorry.
We don't know. The Tim Tracker asks, is it too late to ask a question? No, it's not, Tim.
No.
Next question.
Did he ask a follow-up question?
I haven't scrolled up that far yet.
Okay.
Next one, Alex Show asks thoughts on Toothsome from photos.
I think the uniforms are too elaborate. But I feel like people that work in food service need like less elaborate costumes.
Yeah. I don't like Cheesecake Factory, so I really don't.
But you know who does like Cheesecake Factory?
You.
Middle America loves
That's true.
Cheesecake Factory.
That is very
true. And I'm not saying anything bad about Middle America. I'm just saying that there is a Cheesecake Factory 4 miles from my house at a mall, and it is full all of the time.
Yep. And I mean, like, I'd rather go to NBC Grill Brew than this place, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But,
well, chocolate vanilla.
Yeah. And plus, I can't really eat ice cream that much because I'm lactose intolerant. So
Yeah, you get a little gassy.
yeah, you don't want to do that, especially when you guys standing in behind me in line. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's not a good way to make friends.
Derek Bergen asks, what works best / worst and why? Express Fast, Fast Pass Plus, and then Fast Lane.
Which one is I would say Fast Lane works best because it's pretty expensive. Fast Lane at the Cedar Fair parks is pretty expensive, and therefore not a lot of people use it. So when I buy a Fast Lane, I walk on everything, and it's nice. So that works best. And then what Universal has works pretty good because they have a small enough pool of high-paying guests and on-property stayers.
Uh-huh.
And I think it really helps your time, and I almost always stay on property because of Express Pass. And then Fast Pass Plus is a necessary evil, so people can have a good vacation. Now, which one works best would be not Fast Pass Plus at all, because it's not unlimited and it's very confusing. So it would have to be either Fastlane or Express, and I would say Express, because Express literally makes me stay on property and come back every.
Yep, I think I could agree with that. I mean, I don't know what he means by works best. Like I could easily say, well, in terms of using it, FastPass is much harder to use because you have to plan everything, and then the other two you just walk up to.
They're kind of effortless if you pay your money.
Yeah, but on the other hand, in terms of lines, I don't know. I mean, they're different. FastPass Plus is more of a congratulations, you booked ahead of time. Here's a shorter wait, while the other ones are.
No, FastPass Plus is you paid to come to Disney World. Here you can ride Soarin' and Space Mountain.
Yeah.
And that way you can't say you didn't get to ride Soarin' and Space Mountain.
Okay. Yeah. Next one is the Tim Tracker again. He asks, "Wait, sorry, I was in the bathroom. What about now? Is it too late now?"
Nope. It's still not, Tim. Is there a follow-up question?
Not yet, but I just tweeted at him, nope. So we'll see what we get.
Okay.
Michael Shee asks, he says, I'm a huge fan. When will West Coaster be a guest on your show? Thanks for taking my question. Taking a wild guess, probably not anytime soon.
We are open to guests.
Yes, we are open to guests.
Especially ghosts, guests that are willing to donate to Give Kids the World. If anyone would like to donate to Give Kids the World, a unknown amount that I make up, then you can come on and be a co-host for the night.
Wow, that's
just because I like those guys, and we're pretty open to talking to people.
We did not talk about this beforehand. Lane just made this up.
Yeah, I'm making it up, and I'm making a number up. So that's how being a co-host on Parkscope works these days. Joe can edit that out if he wants to.
Nah, I don't edit anything out, so it's
my
fine.
question, getting back to some Jim Hill nerdery.
Okay.
So do you think there is a connective tissue from the recently surfaced, apparently a few years ago announced, Sugar Rush ride going into Disney World's Tomorrowland in the Alien Encounter / Stitch Theater, and the hypothetical Mario Kart ride?
Okay.
With maybe some augmented reality. Like, those seem pretty similar to me, because Sugar Rush is kind of a Mario Kart ripoff.
Well,
And
the difference seems to be actual execution. The difference being the Sugar Rush sounds like it's going to open like in 2 years and be somewhat lower capacity, and you wear a VR helmet, while Mario Kart
or screens like Back to the Future would have been with smaller screens. Do you think it's going to be VR helmets?
I think it's going to be VR helmets, but who knows? Who knows right now, at least. There's probably like 8 versions of this attraction they're proposing. You know how that is.
And someone leaked the one that they wanted.
Exactly. What I'm hearing about Mario Kart is that it's going to be full practical and actual racing vehicles.
So, but at that point, you won't be able to switch which character you are?
No. I mean, you'll just be... Or if you're even a character. I mean, maybe
You're just in a Mario Kart doing Mario Kart-like things.
Yeah.
In a practical dark ride.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah. With the augmented reality being like, hey, you have a windshield in front of you. You know like how Test Track has that windshield? The really shitty one? Imagine if it. Yeah, but imagine if it was closer and better angled, and that was actually some sort of augmented reality thing, and it was bigger, so when you're looking out the windshield, it looks like there's characters in front of you, and like there's shells and the question boxes and shit.
Okay.
Like it? Good idea?
Yeah, I just thought that those were very similar for those to kind of come out around the same time.
Yeah.
Or news to come out around the same time.
That is interesting, and I think they may be trying to, they're like, oh, well, we need our own Mario Kart kind of ride, and not understanding what kind of attraction it's going to be. But I think Mario Kart's going to wipe
it will be
Rush.
cool if they can day and date Wreck-It Ralph 2 with an opening of a ride in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. They did it with Cars 2.
I think it'll be a nice little attraction, but it ain't going to be an e-ticket. I'll tell you that right now.
I will ride it, and I do not ride what is there now.
That is very true.
So, if anything, that will get more people to go on it.
But I imagine there will be no audio animatronics, and people will be like, it's the greatest thing ever.
Or there will be a one Wreck-It Ralph in the queue, and then they'll take it away.
Yeah, they'll remove the... How many? There's actually 1, 2, 3... There's 6 audio animatronics in that attraction.
In which one?
In Stitch's Great Escape.
Oh, I thought we were making fun of Mr. Potato Head.
No, we are making fun of Mr. Potato Head, but I'm talking about if they remove all those AAs and it's just all screens, somehow I feel like no one will be complaining about that.
Yeah, it would still be just as much fun.
Yeah, but, Disney fans, because it's Disney and they do, it's okay. That's what I'm trying to get at, You know?
I do.
Okay. Next question from Mike at Pixels in the Parks. He asks, why don't we see more projection mapping during Halloween Horror Nights? Loom was really cool when they did it in the Scare Zone a few years ago. I think they're going to do that this year.
I think they'll do some.
Yeah. Like, they'll be, like, burning projections and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like the city's on fire.
I think all haunts kind of do. Burning projections are a little, like, light version of it, but... Horror Nights might have the budget to do a more castle quality.
The projection mapping stuff.
Which is very popular worldwide.
Yes, it is. Next question I want to spin off a little bit, and we can talk about a little bit more, because I think we should do an episode all on food sometime.
All right.
This comes from Robert Parker. He asks, what's next after Toothsome for City Walk, and what would you like to see?
Okay. Next they'll just keep replacing the lowest thing. They're doing the old GE thing where they fire the worst 10% of the workforce every year. They're just taking whatever the bottom thing is and going, let's replace it with something that's fun. Mm-hmm. And I think they have a good enough bones that it'll get good.
Yeah, well, I mean that GE hiring thing is real dumb, but that's beyond the point. Yeah. I think they're going to do that too. I think the Grove is the next thing to go.
What is the Grove? The Groove?
The Groove. The Groove. Oh, yeah, the Groove, not the Grove. The Grove is in Los Angeles. The Groove is in Universal Orlando. Yeah, the one next to Antojitos.
Okay.
I think that'll leave next. I hear it's Universal owned, but it's not well regarded, and it's kind of seedy. And I could see him getting rid of that. But I still hear like Bob Marley and Pat O'Brien still does well. So they'll keep. I think those.
Pat O'Brien's is really fun.
Yeah, I think those will stay around. I don't see Hard Rock going anywhere anytime
Cafe?
soon. Yeah,
It's big, and Middle America likes Hard Rock.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not owned by Universal, but they like it. There's concerts there.
It's an anchor tenant too.
Yeah, definitely.
In the same breath, they want to have their own things to run, but they also necessarily. It's nice to just receive a paycheck and let somebody else take care of stuff.
Yeah. NBA City was an anchor tenant in a way, but now it's Toothsome. So
was the NASCAR Grill, RIP.
No, NASCAR Grill is owned by an outside firm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I meant by anchor.
Yeah. Margaritaville, I hear, is run by Universal. So they're making money. They're making bank there.
That place
maybe they'll redo that whole entire fast food thing upstairs, where Burger King is.
It could use a cleanup, but
they need to clean that up.
That's usually because I'm there at 1 a.m. and I'm really tired.
And everything's dirty, and it's all the drunken.
It's a little sticky.
Yeah, all the drunken Halloween Horror Nights people.
But there is a sushi place right outside of that, and it's a pretty good sushi, kind of affordably.
And I know how much you like late night sushi.
Oh, it's so good.
You love
almost as good as grocery store sushi.
Yeah. Hey, my grocery store sushi is good.
Yeah, so is Publix sushi is pretty darn good.
Yeah, I can't complain. I think the two places are going to be the Groove, and then also the Burger King Moe's / Panda Express place.
It might could use a hug.
And you know what? Also, there was a rumor that recently that Universal is buying out all the contracts for a bunch of the stores, like Fossil and
Tattoo Parlor.
Yeah, Quicksilver and all that stuff. So maybe I still want to see a Nintendo store in City Walk.
I think that would do good.
I mean, what's the Quicksilver's the one that's like that really big one that you can cut through, right?
Uh-huh.
Just put a Nintendo store in there, and you have all the Nintendo merch. You have a bunch of games you can play. That'd be awesome. And then you could have people waiting in line for stuff, and you could do launches there. It'd be super cool. And it could be a headlining store.
Yeah, all the launches you wanted.
Or you could do that up by where the Groove is and have it as a massive headlining store there. But that's a little hidden. So I don't know how well that would work. Well, we'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
Who knows? Next food thing, I think I agree, since they just did Toothsome, they're going to do a quicker thing. Closer to Hot Dog Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Well, what I like to see, ideally, they would just have a public sandwich deli, but, that's not as reasonable.
Chicken finger subs everywhere.
Yeah, you can get chicken finger subs just all the time. Like, that seems like a good place to go to lunch. But I think anything will work. City Walk is a necessary evil for people that stay on property and treat it like a resort.
Yeah, and I think it works well. I mean, people are like, oh, well, why don't they just go to, Ale House? And I'm like, well, that's because they're at all the resorts sold out.
It's another 12-minute walk. That's why I usually don't go to Ale House.
Well, it's not even, you can't even walk there. It's just, those resorts are sold out constantly now, while Disney's has to go to travel to Disney Springs. I mean, that's why they're doing so well. They have a trapped audience, and it works pretty well.
And they close hotel food, and they close the resorts kind of early just to buff that up.
Yeah, a little bit, but they're doing better with that at Sapphire Falls.
Okay.
Sapphire Falls is open a little later, and some of the other stuff's open later at Cabana Bay. So they're getting better with that.
That's good news.
Mm-hmm. I think
although Cabana Bay, you can't start bowling after 10.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. The Strongwater, I think, is open to like 1 a.m. or something.
Oh, it's music to my ears.
Except
I got a $150 resort credit.
Except Halloween Horror Nights is open to like 2 a.m. this year.
That's fine.
Next question also is from Robert Parker. He says, what will be the absolute can't miss at Halloween Horror Nights? Scare Zone? Halloween Horror Night. Miss at Halloween Horror Nights. Then he goes Scare Zone, so I assume he means same thing for Scare Zone. I'm thinking Purge will be killer. Also excited for Halloween too. I think you're talking about Universal Studios Hollywood
which will be fun.
Which has a Purge scare zone. We do not have anything Purge this year. It was rumored. Brian
they got purged.
Yeah, you can say that. Brian says the Purge was dropped this past year for Halloween Horror Nights scare zone, which I assume would probably be the New York area, just like I did before.
Where it has been.
Yes, exactly. So, not your favorite house, but what's the one can't miss house this year, do you think, Lane?
Krampus, because of the puppets. I think they're going to get the American Werewolf puppet guys. I think the crews that made puppets for that are going to make puppets for Krampus, and those are going to be some wicked, fun, evil puppets. And that might be the kind of thing like Alien vs. Predator, where that's where the 6'4" guys are, running the big old scary Krampus puppets.
Yeah. I think this year's can't miss house will be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I'm not sure. I mean, we don't know enough yet, and there's not like that one standout house. I think this year, like, I'm just not into American Horror Story, so I'm just not hyped about it. But maybe
But the house could be amazing.
The house could be amazing.
IP and houses are not necessarily 1-to-1.
That's true. And
either way,
and it's going to be real big too.
Real big.
Yep. Next question is from Nick. He asks, what is the greatest attraction of all time, and why is it Fallon? No, it's not Fallon. Nick, that's why.
You spelled Luigi's Rock and Roadsters wrong?
Yeah. Thank you, Deba.
Deba did do the top 7 flat rides at DCA.
Yes.
This week on Twitter.
Of course he did.
Love you, Mark.
Next question comes from Matt Clark. He asks, with more hotels popping up at Universal Orlando, will the Hotel Express Pass system change to include all of them?
Nope.
They're going to be pretty much all they're going to be the hotels right now what they have.
Yeah.
Although
everything else is going to get grandfathered in underneath it, unless they build a smaller room, or lower room, more boutique, expensive hotel.
That's what they're
the one Disneyland's building,
or like the one they're doing for the 6th hotel at Universal. We believe a more expensive boutique. And what they'll do is they're supposed to have 4 express hotels. So I imagine they'll move the Royal Pacific Express Pass over to this boutique hotel. No way.
I think that'll stay because that Royal Pacific and Sapphire are going to be your convention center hotels.
Yeah.
And you need to have a price point for express and for non-express. I think that'll stay. Because there's 3 with the express now, right?
No, there's 4. There's 3. Yeah, you're right. There's
3, and the tower's going to be the 4th.
No, I think they're just going to have. I think they're just going to have 3, and they're going to move it from Royal Pacific. Not Royal Pacific. Yeah, Royal Pacific.
I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference because if they do build the higher end tower hotel, then that's not going to be enough people to sway the needle.
I think
because Portofino and Royal Pacific are so big.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that there's going to be less people in the tower hotels, so they're gonna. It'll be an amenity for a plus when they really. Yeah, I think they'll move it. So that's just my 2 cents.
Okay, and I think they won't. So there we go.
Yay!
Sharing opinion, playing radio.
Yay! We're not agreeing on things. Yay! We're doing fake, whatever.
No, we actually disagree on. Heard more details on the Disneyland hotel.
Yeah.
That 4th one they're building, and it's going to be nice.
Real fancy?
It's going to be real fancy, which means I'm going to stay there.
Nice. It's probably going to be really expensive, too.
Yeah, because everything's expensive out there on site.
Yep. So that's all for us. Lane, where can we find you guys at?
At Lane Nichols on Twitter, at Lane Nichols on Instagram. It's pretty fun. Also at Parkscope and Parkscope.net.
There you go. You can find me at Parkscope Joe. Go to Parkscope.net and subscribe to us. Leave us a good review. We could really use that after this week. Woo.
Yep. We love friends, and we like people that want to just chill and talk theme parks. Of all kinds. Agree with us or disagree with us. We like everybody that'll be fun and chill and talk parks.
Yep, exactly.
That's what we're trying to do, too.
So, anyway, that's what's going on. I'm trying to think if anything else is going on right now. Not really.
I did like what you were saying, that we could do a food show We could maybe do a top 5 show, food or drinks or something, and get a little necessarily less newsy Parkscope.
Yeah, like we did one a while ago, and it didn't work great, but we can always tweak it a little bit. Talk about our favorite restaurants, some of our favorite meals.
And get a big round table for it. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah. Things like that, and discuss that kind of situation. And
trying to open it up because this time of year, we're excited for haunt stuff, and it gets a little quiet.
Yeah. That's about it for us. So, on behalf of everyone, Kongaloosh, love everybody, hate everything.
Love everybody, hate everything. Kongaloosh!